Amazing. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Hey, today, if you didn't know, today, the Gainesville Big Band is going to be here at 2 p.m., and they're going to be playing a concert of holiday favorites. So if you guys, definitely give them another hand. That was awesome. This is a little preview of what you will see if you come back today. Tickets are $15, I believe, and so come back 2 p.m. for an amazing concert with these guys. My name is Kevin, and I am the lead pastor here at Meizon Church, and I'm so glad that you've chosen to join us today. If you guys want to, you guys don't have to wait for me. You guys can bail if you need to. I didn't want anybody waiting for me. Don't wait for me. But yeah, thanks so much for being here today. Thanks for choosing us. The kids are already gone with Kylan. If you look on the screen, we got a digital connect card. It's got a QR code. If you scan that QR code, it takes you to a little form that you can fill out if you have any prayer requests, or if you have any thoughts that you want to share with us, or if you just want to say hi. We love it when people come and they say hi to us. We love salutations. It's great. So please do that. We would love to hear from you. Want to also let you know about our new, there's a new landing page on our website, MeizonChurch.com/serve, and that is where all things serve happen on our site. So whenever we have like a need that we're trying to meet, or we have a sign up for like helping at Ronald McDonald House, or whatever the opportunity is, everything's going to be on one spot. And so this month, we've got two opportunities for you. If you go to MeizonChurch.com/serve, we have Adopt a Family. So this month, we're adopting a family for the holidays. There's a family that we've identified in our community that has some needs, and we're going to meet them because that's what we do as a church, and it's going to be awesome. So there's a list there of items and things that you can contribute to help. And so go to that website, and then you'll see that list if you want to drop those things by, or if you want to just there's some instructions there on the list. I think it's like a, that's not the Amazon one. That's like a, what is it? It's like a Sign Up Genius, I think, or something like that. So definitely check that out. The other one is Serve G&V on Christmas Eve. Okay, we did this last year. And what we basically are going to do is next Sunday morning, we're going to sing some songs and do some worship, but we're going to get together and we're going to make gift bags. And we're going to assemble those. It's going to have like a granola bar and a bottle of water and a little note on it that just says, thank you so much for serving our community. And so we're going to go out on Christmas Eve after the Christmas Eve service, and we're going to deliver those to people who have to work on Christmas Eve. Because who wants to work on Christmas Eve? Like, it's awesome that they're doing that for us. And so convenience stores, ERs, urgent care facilities, places like that. Did we talk to Ronald McDonald House? Are we doing that? Yeah, Ronald McDonald House. We're going to drop off some gift bags. So there's opportunities to do that. So you have an opportunity to help us put together the gift bags in the morning, and then you also have another opportunity to go out into the community and to deliver those gift bags in the evening. But we're collecting items for those gift bags. So bottles of water, granola bars, things like that. There's a Amazon list. If you go to MeizonChurch.com/serve, there's a list there of the items that we need. And you can just drop those off here, or you can even go on the Amazon cart, and you can have them shipped to us, right to us. You don't even have to do anything. You just like plug in the thing, and it happens, because 2023 and technology. All right? So the other thing I want to let you know about is next week, Christmas Eve services. So we are meeting here 10:30 a.m. for regular service next week. Like I said, it's going to be a shorter service. We're still going to have worship and communion, but we're going to get together and we're going to make those gift bags in the morning. And then in the evening at 5 p.m., we're going to have a candlelight Christmas Eve service. And so definitely want to come out for that. It's always a really special service. And like I said, after that service, we'll go out and we'll deliver the gift bags. All of these things that we do here at Meizon cannot be possible without the generosity of people. And this is a generous church, and I'm so thankful for you guys and the ways that you are already so generous to us to be able to do the things that we already do. And so if you would like to support the work that we're doing here, you can do that in several ways. You can do that on our website, MeizonChurch.com, and click the Give button. The other thing you can do is you can text the Give. If you text the dollar amount to 84321 and then follow the prompts to Meizon Church, you can give that way. The other thing is, if you want to go old school, we've got some giving boxes in the back, and they have little give here signs on them. You can just plop your offering right there in the gift box. It's a gift box. It's the offering box. Whatever. It's a thing. It's on the wall. Do the thing. Anyways, you could do that. If you need help, obviously I do. If you need help with online giving, talk to Miranda. Don't talk to me. She will help you do all the things. All right? Speaking of Pastor Miranda,
Today, she is wrapping up our service, or our sermon series. I don't even know what it's called. Some assembly required. See, this is Christmas. Great. Some assembly required with Miranda. She's going to come up here. She's going to finish the service, and I'm really excited about it. So check it out.
They always fuss about how short I am, but it's just to make up for other things. All right. I am so glad you joined us today. As Kevin said, my name is Miranda, and I'm the administrative pastor here, and it is so hard to believe that next week is Christmas Eve. This month between Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve has flown by. Now, in our first week of the series, Kevin shared with us how we've been given a gift to be called the sons and daughters of the creator of the universe. Kevin shared how that gift doesn't come with strings attached, but in unpacking it, we sometimes have to assemble it. Last week, Drake shared with us that when we open things that require assembly, we often fall into two groups. We can be those who try and figure it out based on the picture, or those who follow the instructions. I'm an instructions person. I want to make as few mistakes as possible along the way. I also want the structural integrity that the designers had in mind. So just as long as I'm trying to build the thing on the box. Drake also challenged us to have curiosity when we're building, to be childlike and to ask questions on why and how things work. Remember that when Jesus asked the disciples to be more childlike, he was encouraging them to have curiosity. God calls us to have courage to sit in the curiosity. It can be hard to ask questions, especially if the answers or the questions you're having feel like they don't have real answers, or maybe the answers you're getting don't seem to be lining up with the ones everyone else has found. Now, as Drake was talking last week about not using the instructions to build the pictures on the box, my brain's like Legos. Oh my gosh, Legos. Legos are the ultimate some assembly required gift. The whole gift of Legos is in the assembly. Now, our family enjoys Legos, and don't tell them, but I do happen to know there are at least a few sets under the Christmas tree. Legos for me remind me of my childhood. We had a huge Lego table that my dad built. And I personally would spend hours, especially during the summer, making an entire town. So it's this table, and it's got a road that runs around it, and at one point we got like a space set, and so Dad pulled up one of the tiles and put like a space station tile on it, so we could build on the green tiles or on the road. We had a train that would go around the town. I would build a school and several other places like that. Now, if you're like me, the first time you put together Legos, you use the instructions. And if you're like me, you do it almost every time. Now, creativity can sometimes be a struggle for me, but it's not for my kids. See, when they build what's on the box for the first time, and then if it breaks, they just throw it into the pile with the rest of the Legos until it's time to build something new. And they find joy and excitement in using the pieces from the set that was once a car or a spaceship or part of the town to build something totally new. It's from them that I've learned there is joy in the journey of building something new. When I was a kid, Legos had one set of directions. That's all you got. You followed them, you got what was on the box. Now, they have these 3-in-1 sets, so there's 3 pictures on the box and 3 sets of instructions, and there's all these extra pieces. So maybe you put it together the first time and you follow the instructions and you make a bunny. But maybe you're tired of the bunny, so you take it apart and you could make a seal or a parrot. Granted, you can't make them all at the same time, but using most of the same pieces, you can get radically different builds. There's always a few extra pieces left when you finish, but the creator sets these pieces aren't just extra, they're the things you use for the other builds. Now, maybe it's been a while since you've played with Legos, but they almost always bring me joy. Except when I step on a piece barefoot, or when my kids bring me the two pieces that have been stuck together and I have to somehow get them apart, and I'm trying to set a good example by not just using my teeth and ripping them apart. Now, one of my favorite sets that I've assembled is actually this blue bug. Okay? This set sat on my Christmas wish list for years. 4 years. It looks similar to a car that I drove in high school. Maybe you've seen us drive our little blue bug up here. And there are 2 ways that I've assembled Legos. The first one is that you sit down with a set and you put it all together, all in one sitting. You just keep going until it's done. Not the way you should work the big sets. It's not the way I chose to work the big set. The second way is you do a little bit here, and then you take a break, and you come back, and you put a little bit more of it together. Now, on the picture, there's my bug behind me. That's actually the box behind it, the picture. So you can see it kind of came out like the box. Now, this next shot is a progress picture. So it was after a day or 2 of assembly, and you can see that there aren't any wheels on it yet, and it's starting to look like the picture. But without the instructions, I would have never gotten to this point. I know for me, there was joy in the journey, not just in the destination. So I chose to take my time and assemble the Legos a little bit at a time. Now, one of the recent sets I've assembled is an orchid. This one feels a little bit like there's all these loose pieces up here, and I'm afraid they're going to fall out. So this is one of the recent sets that I've assembled. It was given to me on my last birthday, and much like building the bug, I took my time on this one. I wanted to savor the experience. Now, one of the things that I found interesting about this build, and there's a picture of it back behind there, is that the pieces that are on here are actually parts to other sets. So, for example, these little pieces down here are parts to a dragon tail. Like if you were to build a Lego dragon, you would have pieces like this for its tail. And there's little pink frogs in here that they've used as the centers. And these big pieces are shoulder pads. And these one here are shields, like for some of their castles and knight sets. So one of the other parts that was interesting, and I'm not going to take it apart to show you, you'll have to trust me on this one, but the inside here is very technic. If I had just opened the bag, there's no way I would have had any clue what to do with those pieces to assemble them, to get them into this shape. So following the instructions was very important for that. We've all had experience assembling items. Maybe, like Kevin and his trampoline, the experience was not what you expected, and every time you walked by, it brought up some bad memories. Or maybe like Drake and his tiny home, you can look at the picture on the box or a picture in your head, and you come up with a way to make it look like what you want. Or maybe like me with my Legos, you've found joy in putting together the pieces. Other than assembling toys or IKEA furniture, we also assemble our lives. Maybe the blocks in your life have gone together smoothly. Graduate from school, get married, start a job, buy a house, have kids. Maybe there have been pieces that were hard to work with, a health diagnosis or bills that seemed to outlast the paycheck. Or maybe the next piece was a surprising one, a career change that fit well once you had it in place, but it took a little while to find the right spot. No matter what we're working on assembling, I want to remind you that God can bring us joy in the journey. God walks with us through the easy and the difficult times. He's there to offer guidance and instruction when the pieces don't seem to fit. Now, as we journey towards the manger this season, I think of assembling the nativity set. Each year, we pull out the pieces, and they all represent different parts of the story. Each person represented had a journey to be there. Let's work our way in with the characters in our scene. So I'm going to start on the very outside. Often the furthest out in our manger, at least, are the wise men. Now, remember, they showed up late, like 2 years later, okay? Even though whatever. All right, so they show up 2 years later, more like when Jesus is a toddler, not when he's like this itty-bitty baby, okay? So they followed a star. Talk about a creative set of instructions. Now, I think of their journey and the joy that they had in reaching their destination. A good road trip with a surprising destination. We aren't told a whole lot about their journey in Scripture other than that they came from far away, and they were able to meet with King Herod. Sounds kind of exciting. And then they chose to defy the king. They didn't return to tell him where they found the baby. They just went on back home. Now, next we have the shepherds. Theirs was also a surprise, last-minute journey. We're told the angels announced the birth. Behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy. In my mind, they stood around for a few minutes trying to figure out just what happened and what that all meant. And then I think they ran to go check out this report. They were filled with joy and needed to see this baby born in a manger. Now, I don't necessarily see them hanging around the manger very long, but I see them going back out to spread this good news of great joy. Now, at the very center of our nativity, we have Mary and Joseph, each following the instructions given to them individually, even though they haven't seen the picture on the box. Together, they're finding joy in the journey, a journey that is ahead of them, but they don't know all the details yet. I want us to look at Luke 1:39 to 56. I'm going to set the stage here a little bit. God's just revealed part of the picture to Mary, and that she's favored and chosen to carry God's son. She's also been told that her relative Elizabeth, who's been barren, has conceived a son. See if we get those words up on the screen in a second. In those days, Mary set out and hurried to a town in the hill country of Judea, where she entered Zechariah's home and greeted Elizabeth. When Elizabeth heard Mary's greeting, the baby leapt inside her, and Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Spirit. Then she exclaimed with a loud cry, "Blessed are you among women, and your child will be blessed. How could this happen to me, that the mother of my Lord should come to me? For you see, when the sound of your greeting reached my ears, the baby leaped for joy inside me. Blessed is she who has believed that the Lord would fulfill what he has spoken to her." And Mary responds, "My soul magnifies the Lord, and my spirit rejoices in God my Savior, because he has looked with favor on the humble condition of his servant. Surely from now on all generations will call me blessed, because the mighty one who has done great things for me, and his name is holy. His mercy is from generation to generation on those who fear him. He has done a mighty deed with his arm. He has scattered the proud because of the thoughts of their heart. He has toppled the mighty from their thrones and exalted the lowly. He has satisfied the hungry with good things and sent the rich away empty. He has helped his servant Israel, remembering his mercy to Abraham and his descendants forever, just as he spoke to our ancestors." And Mary stayed about 3 months, then she returned to her home. So even before being born, we see Jesus bringing joy. Now, I imagine that Mary had an idea for how her life might play out. I'd be a little surprised if she had teenage mom, becoming an immigrant, or any of those sort of things on her bingo card. Yet, in this moment, we see Mary finding joy in the journey. Now, maybe finding joy in the journey isn't easy for you, or maybe it's something you struggle with. Now, right now, if I'm honest, I've really been thinking a lot about the family of a high school classmate. He passed away earlier this week from cancer. And I think about all of the families who have lost loved ones in the last year. For some, this might be the first gathering with a parting among them. How, instead of feeling joyous this season, it may bring heartache. Psalms 126:5 reminds us that those who sow in tears will reap with shouts of joy. Just because there is sadness doesn't mean there can't also be joy in the journey. We assemble items, we assemble our lives, but our faith is also assembled. Maybe your faith is a gift that was given to you fully assembled, and you just needed to tweak it and make it your own. Or maybe you have joyfully assembled it. Or maybe you're looking at your faith and you have questions about some of the components. We want to encourage you to sit in curiosity. Ask your questions. Explore what a slightly different answer might look like. Maybe like the Lego sets, you've followed instructions and gotten the first picture on the box. But maybe life knocked your set to the ground and you're staring at the pieces, wondering just how to put it all back together. Be willing to have courage to examine the blocks and see how else they might fit together. Have courage to sit in the curiosity. Look for missing pieces. What else did you leave out before that would make your faith stronger or more beautiful? And as we reassemble the pieces, find joy in the journey. This week, as we continue our journey towards Christmas, I want to challenge you to find something that brings you joy. Maybe it's something small, like a hot drink on a cold, rainy day. Or maybe it's listening to the big band this afternoon. Or maybe it's assembling some Legos with your family. Look for a moment of joy. And I want to challenge you to take one step further. After you find the thing that brings you joy, like the shepherds, I want you to share that moment of joy with someone. Maybe post it on social media, maybe take a picture and text it to a friend. If you're willing, I would love to see the things that have brought you joy. Send me an email, miranda@meizonchurch.com. Now, as Kevin said earlier, next week is Christmas Eve, and we'll be putting the bow on our Some Assembly Required as we gather for Serve G&V. Don't worry, it fits right in with our series. We'll be assembling gift bags to deliver to others who are working in our community on Christmas Eve, hopefully to bring them a little joy as they work. I'm looking forward to seeing you back here next week. As I'd like to go ahead and pray for us. Lord, thank you for bringing joy in our journeys. Help us to see the little things around us that bring joy to you and that can be joyous for us. In your name, I pray. Amen.
Man, today is good. This is good. This has brought me a lot of joy. We're close. We can talk. This is good, right? We can do this. This has been a really hard season for me, and I know I've talked about this. The last 3 months have been just really, really hard, and it's my stuff. It's nobody else's stuff. It's my stuff, and I'm working through it. And this morning, before we came to church, I was talking with my wife, and I just kind of had like a little mini breakdown about just some of the things that I'm personally working through. And it was good to get it out. It's good to like have a little cry every once in a while and do the thing. But one of the things I had said to her this morning was just that I want to find that like spark, that joy, that thing. Like I'm always down. It feels like this season I'm just always down. I'm always a burden on everybody around me, and I hate it. I hate that feeling, right? And coming into this space this morning and it was literally like hearing the band play the first few notes and being in this space with you guys and like having some of you guys just be so loving and so patient and gracious. And I just want to say thanks. And I specifically want to thank my wife because she's so patient and she's so gracious. I want to thank Drake and Miranda, especially Miranda. Thank you for that message. That was really good. And we had a conversation this week even about that very thing, about how, we want to present this thing like it's so put together. Like, and that's not just church, that's like everything, right? Like we want to put and social media and like technology doesn't make it any better, because what is it? It's like we have to curate our lives. We have to create content and make sure that everybody knows that we have this thing that we're presenting to the world that's all perfectly placed and put together or whatever. And when everything's falling apart, we don't want to like show that. Like we don't want to stand in front of the church and say the last 3 months have been really hard for us, because that's like, ooh, it's ugly, it's scary, it's uncomfortable, that's weird. I don't want that. I want to come to church and put my quarter in the machine and get the good stuff out of it, right? But that's how we live our lives this way, right? And Miranda and I were talking, oh my gosh, I'm going to get choked up. We're having a conversation this week, and she was just like, Kevin, it's okay. It's okay to let people just sit in that space with you. They don't have the answers, and you don't have to have the answer. Sometimes it's good to just have people to sit in the space with you, right? And so when we carry things like there's people in our lives who are losing loved ones, or we walk through these things where like this week I had a friend of mine who I just found out like did some really bad stuff. That's all I can say. Did some really bad stuff. And so me and some of my friends are trying to put the pieces back together from that. Like, what do we do with this? What do we do with this thing? It's okay to sit in that space. And I guess what I want to say to you today in the aftermath of that message, and why it's so encouraging to me, is that when we sit in the space with each other, when we come to this space, I'm testifying to you that I came to this space and you sat with me in that space and I found joy there. And it was good. It was really good. And I hope that it's good for you. And I hope that that's like, Drake and I, we sit here and we talk about the woulda, coulda, shoulda, like what we could be, and all the other churches in town and how they do things, and we do this. It's comparison. It's all BS. It's fine. But when we do that, what I think happens is we limit ourselves from seeing the thing that God is doing right under our nose. And God is doing something right under our nose in this space, and it's good and it's powerful. And it doesn't need to be something else. It can be this. This is good. And so I just wanted to share that with you. It's way too much, but I love you guys, and I know that you appreciate it. So a couple things before we leave. The Gainesville Big Band this afternoon, 2 o'clock, $15. Come out, support local arts and music. It's going to be fantastic. Next week, Christmas Eve, 10:30, we're here in the morning. We're going to sing some songs, and then we're going to put together gift bags. It's going to be great. Come back in the evening for candlelight service at 5 p.m. on Christmas Eve, and then we're going to go out and we're going to bless the socks out of this city with gift bags. It's going to be great. Last thing I want to let you know is on New Year's Eve, we are not having church. Don't come. We won't be here. Enjoy the holiday, enjoy the Christmas break, and then we will be back here on the 7th of January, and that will be Vision Sunday. And I am excited about it, and I cannot wait to share that Sunday with you guys. So that's what's going on. We'll see you back here next week for Serve GB. Thanks so much.